Baltimore Ravens are the NFL's best team. Lamar Jackson is on his way to his first ever Super Bowl. Let's take a look at what this team is and why they are so good. When you first think about the Baltimore Ravens, the first player that comes to your mind is the quarterback, number 8, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson this season is coming up on his second ever league MVP, deservingly so. When you take a look at Lamar Jackson's numbers, they really don't jump off the table, but that's not really what you think about when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Numbers aren't the thing you look at. It's the wins. And Lamar Jackson's team sat at the number 1 seed in the AFC, beating the likes of the Niners, beating the likes of the Dolphins. They just came off of Lamar Jackson's first ever divisional playoff win versus the Houston Texans led by C.J. Stroud. Lamar Jackson threw for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as running for 100 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. He played the best game of his entire NFL career at the highest stage of his NFL career, earning his first ever trip to the AFC Championship, where he will now face the Kansas City Chiefs, led by the man himself, Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes has got the better of Lamar Jackson more times than Lamar Jackson has him. In the 4 matchups between the superstars, Lamar Jackson is just 1-3 versus Patrick Mahomes. He's looking to change that this weekend in the AFC Championship. Luckily for him, it is held in Baltimore. Let's take a look at why this team is going to win this game, and not only this game, but the Super Bowl. You take a look at this defense, and they are historically great. They are top 5 in every single category, top to bottom, and they are led by all-pro linebacker and all-pro safety Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton this year has had an absolute breakout season. Last year, he was extremely good. He made the Pro Bowl, second team all-pro, I believe. But this season, he took it to a whole other level. He pretty much does everything you could possibly ask for from a safety. Comes down to the box where he does most of his damage, playing in that kind of hybrid linebacker safety position, but he is no slack as far as zone coverage. He knows just how to blitz the gaps, come up and make the stops, but knows exactly how to get interceptions. He is extremely good while blitzing. He had 3 sacks this season, as well as a forced fumble. He is an all-around hybrid demon. He is a 6'4", 220-pound safety. Basically a Cam Chancellor, but a little bit better on his feet. Excuse me, he did not make the Pro Bowl last year. I apologize. This was just his rookie season. This season was his first Pro Bowl and first team All-Pro selection. Take a look at Roquan Smith and what he has been able to do this season. He has absolutely led this defense to the number 1 spot that they are at. This season, he had 84 solo tackles as well as a sack and a half while blitzing. A forced fumble for himself as well. Now, Roquan Smith is a phenomenal field general linebacker. He is someone that can sit back and play zone, which the Baltimore Ravens like to run a lot now that they don't have Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey. They rely on the pressure, which they have been getting tons of by the likes of Jadeveon Clowney. Someone that you guys really haven't heard in some time. This season, he's really made a complete comeback. This season, he was able to eclipse 9.5 sacks in one of the best seasons of his career statistically, but we know he's not the same player he once was. This defense played out of its mind this season, allowing 16 points per game, which is the fewest across the entire NFL. Like I said, this defense has been absolutely shut down. There's no question about it. But what makes this team so lethal is not only the defense getting the stops, but the offense being able to capitalize off of the defense's great play. Lamar Jackson and this Ravens have one of the best rushing attacks in the entire league because of how versatile it is. They have Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson, now a Dalvin Cook, who they just recently added, and the young gun Justice Hill. Now, Gus Edwards this season had one of the best seasons of his entire career, eclipsing 13 total touchdowns on 4.1 yards a carry. Complete dominance from him when touching the ball. 13 touchdowns is phenomenal to see from any single player, let alone Gus Edwards. Now, they had 13 touchdowns to Gus Edwards, but that didn't mean that Justice Hill didn't get a fair share of the pie. Justice Hill was also able to get 3 touchdowns while averaging 4.6 yards a carry. Now, this offensive line just gets ridiculous amounts of push up front, opening these phenomenal lanes for these rushers. These guys had damn near 2,000 rushing yards as a team when you add in Justice Hill's 400 yards, Gus Edwards' is 900, near 900 yards, and then of course Lamar Jackson's rushing stats as well. This year, Lamar did a little bit less on the ground than we've seen in past years. having 821 rushing yards. Although the yards were down, the efficiency wasn't. Lamar Jackson ran for 5.5 yards a carry, leading the team in yards per attempt. Now, the rushing attack is where their bread and butter comes from. But Lamar Jackson has took leaps of progression since coming into the league as a passer. In fact, he is a legitimate passing quarterback now. Just 3 years ago when he won his first MVP, he still didn't really have the throwing capabilities that he has now. Teams were able to just run zone and force him to throw and beat him in the playoffs. This season, the script is completely different. Hence the reason why he just won the playoff game. Lamar Jackson now has the opportunity and the availability to sit in the pocket and break down the defense. He throws outside the numbers, he throws within the numbers, and he is phenomenal at extending the play and getting players open downfield with his legs. Zay Flowers has been an absolutely phenomenal security blanket underneath, who takes those 4 6-yard catches and gets an extra 10 yards total because of the after catch capabilities. Now, Mark Andrews is Lamar Jackson's go-to guy, and he has been phenomenal when he's on the field, but he's missed some time. Isaiah Likely has come in and filled that role and been just as good. Just last game, Isaiah Likely had 2 touchdowns versus the Texans. This Ravens team has unlimited weapons. Lamar Jackson now can go to rock, so it's either watch out for his throwing, watch out for his running, and if it's not him, it's Gus Edwards or Justice Hill, and if it's not him, it's Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. The pure and sure firepower of this team is one of a team that wins the Super Bowl, and that is exactly why this team will be the 2024 Super Bowl champions. That's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, peace.